Dale Moss's mystery woman has been revealed following his recent cheating accusations. Hey guys, welcome to another Shared News from home. As you all know, we here at Shared have been following the Clare and Dale breakup news very closely. But before we get into it, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any future updates. I'm Hibba Berry, joined today by Fiona Zaring and Avery Grooms. Hey ladies! Alright, let's get started because new details have emerged following Clare and Dale's split. Now, to recap, E! News had exclusively reported another woman was a root cause of a lot of their arguments. Now, the other woman's identity has finally been revealed. E! confirms the mystery woman is Eleonora Srugo, a New York City-based real estate agent. Now, Us Weekly reports a spokesperson from Srugo said she would like to be excluded from this narrative and that there is no truth to the affair reports. The rep continued on to say, quote, Dale and Eleonora are and have been platonic friends for a few years. They have never been romantically involved in any way. She was excited for his engagement and only wishes him all the best. They have never been involved dating or romantically in any way whatsoever. Any claims they have dated or were romantically involved are blatant lies, end quote. Alright, so it seems like this has become a case of sources saying he said, she said, it's fact, it's fiction, whatever. So my question to you guys is, now that the identity of this mystery woman has been revealed, does it make a difference on whether or not we believe the reports that they are either close friends or have been romantically involved? What do you think, Fiona?
You know, I think the more I've read about this, the more sources, quotes I've read, what I just keep coming back to is I don't know what this story is, what their involvement was or wasn't. I firmly believe Clare and Dale were a mismatch. They were not in the right place to be together. They were not in the right phases of life. They weren't looking for the same things. So this to me is kind of the cherry on top. I think we've talked about before the theory that knowing what we know of Clare, the bits of her personality we've seen on her season, in seasons past, I could totally understand the insecurities stemming from being in two different states and having Dale spending an excess of time with a female friend who he's known for years, who is clearly, now that we've seen her, stunningly gorgeous. That can be tough in any relationship when your boyfriend or girlfriend has a really close friend of the opposite sex. That can tug at some insecurities. So to me, I kind of feel like if they're going to come out this firmly and say, we're not romantically involved, knowing that he's in the spotlight now, knowing that there are eyes on him, if the ultimate goal was for him to break up with Clare and go pursue a life with this woman, why would he say this? They're going to have to walk all this back in a few weeks, right? So I don't know. To me, it seems like they weren't a good fit. This maybe just added to the stresses of the relationship.
I completely agree with you. I know Clare was skeptical about this girl and she was the root cause of a lot of their arguments. But that being said, I think it's mainly because he's spending so much time away from her and he's with this girl. So she's just an easy target, especially when cheating allegations come up. Obviously, all fingers are going to point to her because that's who he's publicly been known to be spending his time with. But with regards to cheating, I feel like he would be more secretive about it and it wouldn't be all fingers pointing to this girl. It's maybe someone we don't know and behind the scenes, and this girl was just an easy target to assume that it's her. But who really knows? If she's causing issues in a relationship, that's never good. But knowing Clare, that could be just her overthinking, having some insecurities about Dale being with another girl. Like you said, Fiona, if they're good friends, why would they be coming forward and putting an end to this if they would end up together at the end of the day? So it doesn't really make sense to me.
That's definitely a good point. And it's so interesting because it just seems like this woman is a close friend that Dale has that he just happened to confide into as far as, the relationship struggles and what was going on at the time with him being with Clare. So maybe she just happened to be, a friend, an innocent friend that would just offer advice and would hang out with him, here and there. And then this just seems to be getting blown out of proportion just to make, a juicy headline, come to fruition and just get all those clicks. So it could really mean anything. And honestly, again, with all these these source reportings, you just really have to take it with a grain of salt because it could mean anything. We don't really even know who these sources are. This could just be made up for all we know. So it's definitely important to, just keep that in mind as well. But it also seems like Dale and Eleonora kind of left a paper trail on their social media interactions on Instagram in 2019. This included a picture of them hanging out together, and occasionally we would see Dale's comments on Eleonora's posts months before he even appeared on The Bachelorette show. Now, is this kind of proof that it seems like, they're closer than just a real estate agent helping out her client? What do you think, Avery?
I don't think this is proof, or good enough proof at least, because if you're close friends with someone, it's not abnormal to comment on their pictures. So I don't really think that's suspicious. Only because Clare is skeptical about her, this is like being brought up as a point. But that's kind of like a normal thing to do. You comment on your friends' pictures. I don't think that's proof that he was sneaking around with her.
Yeah, I mean, to me, this is sort of like such a classic stressor on relationships. I've seen this play out in personal lives of my friend, countless TV shows, movies. Like, this is such a classic trope. The boyfriend and the female best friend that you don't know are intimidated by. And it obviously, any sort of history they have is going to be put under a microscope. I just keep coming back to, I think that Dale made some questionable decisions. The main one for me is now that it's coming out that he has such a party lifestyle in New York City. Claire made it so clear from the get-go what she was looking for. And he acted like that's what he wanted too, which to me, I mean, obviously I'm not inside his brain, but I just don't believe that at this point. I think that's the shadiest thing he did. I agree with you, Avery. Leaving comments on your friend's page, that's normal. And also, he had to have known what Bachelor Nation was. Like, anything he did on social media was fair game to be investigated, right? All of this is public. So knowing he's going on The Bachelor and continuing to comment on a woman's photos, you don't do that if there's like an ulterior motive there. I just don't think he would be that careless. I think he was careless in many ways. I don't know that this points to, I definitely think they were having an affair. That's just me, maybe.
No, definitely. And a fair point. I just feel like, again, it's just not that deep. They're friends. I mean, we comment on other guys' friends' posts. We pose with them. We go out, we eat with them, etc. So again, I just feel like this is trying to make something out of nothing, and I feel like that's always going to be a trend in entertainment news, whether there's a big breakup, etc., no matter who it is. So I definitely think, you guys, it's not that deep. They're probably just innocent friends. And a good point that you guys made earlier is that if they're denying it now but end up together later on, then it's just going to blow up in their face and make them look even worse. That was definitely a good point that you made earlier, Fiona, and we'll definitely discuss that right now. So earlier, an E! News source also stated, quote, Claire has always been skeptical. She never trusted the friendship and thought it was shady, end quote. Now, this is always a tricky part in a relationship when your male partner has female friends, and it kind of puts into your head, are they just friends? Were they previously more than that? Of course, we're all human, and this can lead to a lot of assumptions and insecurities, but hopefully trust in your partner overall. Now, as an audience, we saw Claire and Dale's relationship, begin to flourish right from the beginning stages. And with that being said, if you were in Claire's position, would you believe Dale's side of the story or all the media reports of the affair accusations? Avery, what do you think?
Well, in the beginning, when Claire was saying she was skeptical of this girl and she doesn't trust her, you also have to think, well, she's about to marry this guy that is best friends with this girl. So that kind of goes into like a full relationship issue. Like, that means she doesn't trust Dale or what he's doing and his best friend. And that's a whole other issue within the two's relationship. So regardless of who this girl is and what she's done, that's already just the matter of the fact that she can't trust Dale or what he's doing or his best friend. That's already a huge red flag if you're engaged to the person and you can't trust their actions.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. Like, I think it's totally common to have these growing pains or struggles when you're in a relationship and, you're newly dating someone and they've got a really, really close best friend or even just lifelong friend, of the opposite sex until you get to know that person. But they're engaged. So to me, it's like, obviously they got engaged on a reality TV show, and I know things moved so quickly, but if you're engaged to be married to someone, these are like conversations, relationships that I feel like, you know, you should be able to talk and work these things out if you have a strong enough foundation to be married. So again, you know, affair or not affair, if this played such a significant role in ending the engagement, they weren't on the right track, you know, in my opinion. And we have seen, you know, in real life, I'm thinking of people I know on TV, et cetera, people who are friends for years, and there is that little spark. There is something more. There's a different energy in the room when they're together or when they're talking, and maybe they don't see it, but other people do. So again, I just think behind closed doors, I don't know exactly what this relationship looked like. To me, let's go worst case scenario. Dale was cheating on her with this woman. Then thank God she's out, right? I mean, I just think the more and more we analyze this, I don't know how big the mistakes Dale made were. I don't know how shady his actions were, but I'm kind of starting to firmly believe that this wasn't Claire's happy ending.
Definitely. And I feel like this is probably one of the factors that led to their breakup, you know, also discussing, you know, her maybe Dale not wanting kids, etc., like moving situation, living situation. So this could have been, you know, one of the main factors. And again, we just won't know. So it's definitely kind of like a what if situation, because again, there's no confirmation really on either side, because again, sources are saying such different things. So that's kind of tossed out of the window to really trust what they're saying. So again, it just seems like different areas where they disagreed as far as, again, lifestyle, where they were going to live, this mystery woman, you know, kind of coming to the forefront now. So it just seemed like a big overall mess. And again, just thus further confirms that they were just, again, on different pages. Now, there's also new paparazzi footage of Dale addressing the breakup with Clare. When asked how he was feeling, Dale says him and Clare have a lot of love for each other, and this is the healthiest thing for them right now. He continues on to say Clare and him will remain cool, and he doesn't regret going on the Bachelorette show. It's also interesting because Dale says the reason they broke up was because they had a lot of things going on in their lives at the moment. Again, like both of their Instagram statements, he continued the theme of giving, you know, those vague responses. Now, Fiona, what did you guys think of the video and Dale's responses?
You know, I think Dale is projecting a very like calm, cool, collected, mature attitude throughout all of this. I have to say, I know I've been ragging on him a little bit, but I think regardless of if he timed that statement perfectly or not, because I know there's like some question marks there as well, it is a respectful statement. He has said nothing but positive things about Clare. It seems like he's not trying to air any dirty laundry. And she didn't either. She kept her statement, you know, concise. She threw a little, you know, maybe shade at the beginning, but ultimately just kind of talked about where they are in their lives, how it didn't work out, ended on a respectful note, so that she's, you know, always committed to love or something like that. So I think that they're both just trying to project like maturity here. Whatever's going on behind the scenes, they are not going to dive into that he said, she said territory themselves. Right now, sources are battling it out. And I don't know that we're going to see any like real specifics from either of them. I kind of feel like we're not going to.
I agree. I'm glad the answers were very mature and also vague, because when I first saw this, I was like, oh no, like this is just going to add way more to this story. But the fact that he didn't play into it was very mature and made it way less messy, because this is obviously not a great situation to be in. But I was kind of cringing when the paparazzi asked him about Bachelor in Paradise, and I was like, please do not even consider that right now. But he totally like ignored it and was like, too soon to even be talking about that, because just knowing who Dale is, and we've kind of concluded that he likes publicity, wants fame. I was kind of like questioning, would he be like, yeah, I'm ready to go on Paradise, or, oh, I would consider that, because that would be such a wrong move to do in this position right now. So I'm glad he kind of brushed that question off, but I think he handled that situation well.
Yeah, definitely. And that's actually a perfect segue because another interesting moment in the video was when Dale was asked if he would be interested in going on Bachelor in Paradise. Not sure if it's too soon for him to be thinking about that. I mean, who knows? He might be plotting that to get more fame and notoriety, like we just mentioned, which also was one of the rumors that potentially could have caused the breakup. So, Avery, let's kind of continue with that theme. Do you think it would be appropriate for him to go on Bachelor in Paradise? And how do you think Claire would feel about it?
I don't think it would be appropriate, especially with the way this relationship is ending so publicly, and just, their whole season was so different and there was so many expectations for this to work, and to see it play out this way, oh, well, that's life. But I don't think that's the right move for him to go on Bachelor Paradise at probably like any point. I think he should just focus on his modeling career and maybe meet someone new organically, especially just kind of out of respect to Claire. Their season was pretty intense, and I just don't think that would be right. And I would not be able to take him seriously on that show and like believe that he was there to find love. So I don't think that would be smart for him to make an appearance on Bachelor in Paradise. What about you, Fiona?
Yeah, I mean, I think that I certainly don't want to see him on this next season after that. Like, I feel like he would be a great get for producers. They know that would cause, lots of headlines, lots of talk, lots of attention. So I don't think that it's outside of the realm of possibilities down the line, but I certainly agree with you, Avery. I think it's going to just kind of be in poor taste. He would have to know that he's signing up to fill a role that they're, putting him there to fill. And to your point earlier, Hiba, I think that the rumors of Dale maybe being, for lack of a better way of saying it, there for the wrong reasons that kind of crept up as the show was airing, and since then, and when they were together, and now especially since they're not, I think that's gotta make Claire feel just anxious and, disappointed, I'm sure, because we said it all season long. The cast of guys they pulled together for that season were, I think, some of the most well-rounded, thoughtful, emotionally intelligent that we've seen. So I can't imagine, really throwing all your eggs in one basket and then it not working out, how she must be feeling. So my heart obviously goes out to her.
Right, definitely. And that's a good point, because if he were to continue kind of riding that wave of fame into Bachelor in Paradise, that would again get the ratings up, the clicks to all the headlines, and him getting more popularity, more Instagram followers, more DMs for possible sponsorships and ads, etc. So I feel like this might kind of calculate into his overall plan if he was wanting to get famous. But then also I feel so bad for Claire, because this kind of factors into Claire having more trust issues with the men that she's given her full heart to. So I just feel like, to play devil's advocate, I feel like it would be a great move for Bachelor, again, to get those ratings, and for Dale to kind of stir up some more drama, and maybe also for Dale to find a relationship that goes at his pace versus the previous relationship with Claire. It was more at her pace, her wanting him to move out to Sacramento to be with her mother and to have kids right away and to get married and to accelerate this process of being engaged and to get married. So maybe he could find his pace as far as a relationship in Bachelor in Paradise. Is that going to be successful? I don't know. Is it going to be maybe an option if Bachelor producers want to have him on the show? Possibly, but again, it's just going to be very tricky to know if that is something that Bachelor Nation maybe wants to continue, because this breakup has been so wishy-washy and not necessarily black and white. A lot of he said, she said, like we've been saying. So it will be very interesting, but nonetheless, I feel like Dale's going to be fine. He probably has a whole bunch of girls blowing up his DMs. Like, he's still 32. He's living in New York. I think he's fine. I just feel bad for Claire, because unfortunately it seems like she just got the short end of the stick. But all right, you guys, that's all we have to share with you for now. As always, we want to know your thoughts, so tell us down in the comments below, what do you think is really going on with this relationship? Which source reports do you think are the accurate ones? Also, don't forget to follow us on all our socials. Please subscribe and ring the bell, because we'll be back with more news, updates, and reactions. I'm Hibaberry, and today I was joined by Fiona Zering and Avery Grooms, and we'll see you guys next time.